Have you ever fallen in love with someone so charming that you overlook all of their red flags?
Oh, Anna. If only there was someone out there who loved you.
What?
Continuously pulling you back into them even when you thought you've moved on. Blinded by your infatuation with them even when you knew they were no good for you. Steven from Tell Me Lies and Mr. Big from Sex and the City are exactly that type of guy. They're smooth, captivating, and can make you ignore the warning signs when you're caught up in the thrill. But even though they have a lot in common, they come from shows that couldn't be any more different. Today, we'll dive into what makes them both so appealing and so toxic, while exploring how their worlds shape who they are. So let's break down their charm, their flaws, and why we can't look away. When it comes to charm, Steven and Mr. Big knows how to work their magic. Steven has a natural ability to connect with people, using his wit and charisma to draw them in. He easily charms those around him, winning them over with his smooth talk and playful banter.
It's just gonna take me a minute.
I understand. You know that I love you.
Steven is aware of how he can use his charm to pull people in, and while it often works, sometimes it backfires on him.
How do you advise the client?
Are you the client?
Client is the client.
Am I picturing you?
Why does that matter?
I want to know how to talk to you.
The job is legal advice.
In Lucy's case, Steven's charm unfortunately had an instant effect on her. When they lock eyes on campus, there's an undeniable connection. At their first party, Steven makes Lucy laugh effortlessly, creating a fun and relaxed atmosphere that pulls her closer.
I'm Steven. Marco, what's your name?
I'm Lucy Albright.
Lucy. Like my favorite song.
What song?
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
This initial interaction leaves a lasting impression on Lucy. As she leaves to hang out with her friends, she smiles ear to ear like someone who just had a meaningful conversation with a longtime crush. However, this smile fades into uncertainty when Steven later calls her to ask her on a dinner date. This uncertainty doesn't last for long. Later, when Lucy and Steven see each other again at a party, she feels upset, drunk, and vulnerable, opening up about her feelings of guilt regarding her roommate's car accident. She reveals a more emotional side. Steven, recognizing this moment, uses his charm to support her.
Let's get you under the covers.
Offering comfort and understanding that deepens their connection. His ability to be there for her during such a sensitive time showcases a different side of his charm, making Lucy feel seen and valued. By showing that softer side, he unlocks a door in her heart when she's known to show a hard exterior, allowing her to feel comfortable enough to give him a chance on that date. This marks the beginning of something new and different between the two. When it comes to charm, Mr. Big has a special way of drawing people in, especially Carrie. Their first encounter is mysterious, yet electric. With barely any words exchanged to capture Carrie's interest, when she drops her belongings in the street, Mr. Big steps in to help her, offering a warm smile and casual wave that leaves a lasting impression. Things get even more interesting when Mr. Big crosses paths with Carrie again. One night, as she struggles to find a taxi home, cars speed past her in every direction. Just when she's about to give up, an all-black car pulls up beside her. Like a knight in shining armor, Mr. Big rolls down the window and with a flirty grin, tells her to get in.
Well, get in for Christ's sakes.
In this moment, Mr. Big's charm shines even brighter. He makes Carrie feel special, sweeping her off her feet in a moment of vulnerability. During their short but intriguing car ride, Mr. Big manages to learn more about Carrie, talking to her in a way that makes it seem like he knows her better than she knows herself.
You've never been in love.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Suddenly, I felt the wind knocked out of me. I wanted to crawl under the covers and go right to sleep.
He speaks with a confidence that's captivating, while Carrie, still finding her way, can't help but feel intrigued.
Wait, have you ever been in love?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
When the ride ends, she's left wondering about Mr. Big, love, and what this new connection might mean. Both Steve and Mr. Big's initial encounter are brief but definitely leave a lasting impact, showing an undeniable attraction to both Lucy and Carrie. Their real charm comes out the second time they meet. Steven and Mr. Big use playful banter and confidence to make unforgettable impressions, each with a unique approach. Their distinct styles, Steven's warmth and Big's elusive charm, set the tone for each relationship, using each woman's vulnerabilities to pull them closer.
Just tell me I'm the one. Come on.
Emotional unavailability refers to a person's inability or reluctance to open up emotionally, share feelings, or commit to a deeper connection.
This isn't about us. This is about work.
No, this isn't about work. This is about us getting closer and you getting so freaked out that you have to put an ocean between us.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Why is it so hard for you to factor me into your life in any real way?
When we compare Steven and Mr. Big, their emotional unavailability at the start of their relationship with Lucy and Carrie reveals some important similarities. Both men are charming and draw the woman in, but as the relationship develops, it becomes clear they are not fully open emotionally.
It's not my hair tie.
Okay, some other girl probably left it here. Allie or someone.
What was it, Allie or was it someone? I'm not sleeping with anyone else.
Neither am I. It wouldn't bother me if you did, though.
It wouldn't?
Steven presents himself as warm and funny, using humor to connect with Lucy. However, as they get to know each other, it becomes obvious that he struggles to be vulnerable. He often prioritizes his career goals and connections with influential people over building a deeper emotional bond with Lucy. This back and forth behavior leaves Lucy feeling uncertain about his true feelings, creating a mix of hope and frustration. Steven's emotional unavailability is highlighted during his internship interview. While he charms Lucy and builds a connection, he keeps significant aspects of his life hidden from her. For instance, he doesn't tell Lucy that he didn't get the internship, which shows he isn't fully open about his ambitions and setbacks. By withholding this information, he leaves Lucy in the dark and creates distance between them. This lack of communication can make Lucy feel like she doesn't truly know him. By not being transparent about his life and goals, he unknowingly pushes her away, reinforcing his emotional unavailability and leaving Lucy questioning her place in his life. On the other hand, Mr. Big is attractive but also struggles with emotional unavailability from the start. His mysterious personality catches Carrie's attention, yet he tends to keep her at a distance. A clear example of this is when Mr. Big plans to go to Paris without telling Carrie, demonstrating his reluctance to share important decisions and feelings with her.
Actually, there's a possibility I'm not going to be here this summer. I may have to move to Paris for work, just for a while. 7 months, maybe a year. Nothing's definite.
Wait.
This lack of communication makes Carrie feel insecure, leading her to question her worth and feel like she needs to prove herself to him.
It wasn't even a factor in his decision-making process. One minute he's all over me, and the next minute he's pushing me away, and I just cannot believe this is happening again. Why do I keep doing this to myself?
Both Steven and Mr. Big create situations where emotional closeness is hard to achieve. They are drawn to Lucy and Carrie, but their focus on their own goals and image leave both women feeling uncertain and wanting more. This initial emotional unavailability sets the stage for complicated dynamics in their relationships, keeping Lucy and Carrie caught in a cycle of attraction and uncertainty. Ultimately, both men prioritize their own success, often not thinking twice about how their actions may impact Lucy and Carrie. Whether it's Steven withholding news about not getting the internship or Mr. Big making decisions without consulting Carrie, both exhibit a pattern of putting their own needs first, regardless of the emotional consequences for the women involved. Steven and Mr. Big both use their relationships with women to enhance their own image and their success. They tend to gravitate towards partners who can elevate their status or help them achieve their goals, leaving Lucy and Carrie feeling insecure and questioning their worth. This dynamic creates a complex web of attraction and emotional distance, as both men seem to prioritize their ambitions and social image over genuine connection. Steven is focused on becoming a successful lawyer and often chooses relationships that can help him achieve that goal. He feels that being with someone like Diana, who has connections that could benefit his career, is better than being with Lucy, who is still figuring out her path. This mindset makes him think that Lucy might not be good enough for him, even though he is drawn to her warmth and humor.
Really? Says the guy whose ego's so fragile he can't handle working at a front desk. I am constantly trying to make you feel bigger, always.
It's not ego, Lucy. It's ambition. Not that I would expect you to understand that. You basically canceled your entire summer so you could sit at home and you could wait for me. You.
A clear example of Steven's priorities is when he breaks up with Lucy at a party without having an honest conversation with her. He is persuaded by Diana that being with her will be better for his future, as it could lead to an internship with her father. By choosing to prioritize his career goals over his feelings for Lucy, he leaves her feeling blindsided and hurt. Similarly, Mr. Big is already successful, but he chooses women who will boost his status and image. After telling Carrie that he doesn't want to get married, he unexpectedly gets engaged to Natasha, who comes from a wealthy family and works for Ralph Lauren. This decision not only surprises Carrie, but also highlights how Mr. Big is more interested in appearances and status than in building a genuine emotional connection.
How can you be engaged? You have a problem with commitment, remember? You told me you never wanted to get married again, ever.
Well, things change.
You string me along for 2 years and then you marry some 25-year-old girl after only 5 months?
Honorary mention at Coconut Queenie also wanted me to include how Mr. Big is high-key embarrassed of Carrie, and she is a whole adult willing to accept breadcrumbs.
How do you know when enough is enough?
Both Steven and Mr. Big use the relationships to help their success and improve their image. Both women are left feeling undervalued and questioning their worth, while the men grapple with their own insecurities and desires for success. The push and pull dynamics in relationships often occurs when one partner alternates from being close and then pulling away, leaving the other partner feeling confused and insecure. Although both Steven and Mr. Big create this kind of dynamic with Carrie and Lucy, they also interfere with any new relationships the women try to develop. Their actions not only make it difficult for Carrie and Lucy to move on and find happiness with other men, but also demonstrates a controlling nature.
What are you doing here?
Did you get my message? That was him, wasn't it? The perfect guy?
Yes, it was, and he's coming back, so please. What do you want?
I don't know.
No, go home to your wife.
For instance, during a lunch with friends, Lucy is trying to get over her rocky relationship with Steven and is open to moving on. She's chatting with Leo, a guy she's interested in, hoping to explore new possibilities. Just as their conversation is flowing, Steven swoops in, trying to make Lucy look bad and desperate in front of Leo. His comments and teasing create an awkward atmosphere, leaving Lucy feeling embarrassed and undermined. This controlling behavior serves to remind her of his presence and assert his influence, making it hard for Lucy to feel confident and move forward with Leo. Similarly, Mr. Big tends to disrupt Carrie's potential relationships. One night, while Carrie is with Mr. Big and the jazz man, there's obvious flirting happening between Carrie and the jazz man, making Mr. Big visibly uncomfortable. They all end up getting into a cab together. During the ride, the jazz man asks for Carrie's number, and Mr. Big looks shocked, realizing he might lose her to someone else. This moment highlights his jealousy and possessiveness over Carrie, as he can't handle the idea of her connecting with another man. When they arrive at Carrie's stop, Mr. Big gets out of the cab with her, leaving the jazz man behind in the car. This choice shows his determination to keep Carrie close and assert his presence, even as she flirts with someone else. It demonstrates his controlling nature as he tries to ensure that he remains the focal point of her attention.
We gotta figure out what we're doing here.
What are we doing?
What are we?
We're friends. How's that?
What kind of friends?
Oh, friends who listen to jazz, friends who eat pizza, friends who...
Later, while Carrie is waiting for a call from the jazz man, Mr. Big starts calling her throughout the night. His calls interrupt her excitement and anticipation, showing how he tries to assert his control over her. even when she is trying to explore something new. This dynamic complicates Carrie's ability to enjoy her interaction with the jazz man and creates tension between her and Mr. Big.
What do you want?
What do you see in that guy?
He knows when to say goodbye.
Mr. Big also interferes when Carrie starts dating Aiden.
Don't ever call me at home again. Walk.
Is this his dog?
Yes. Do you know what your problem is? You want it all. You want the girl you screw, me, and the girl you go home to, her.
That's bullshit. I just want you.
I have a man who loves me, and you have a wife who loves you.
Don't talk about him and her like it's you and me.
In both cases, Stephen and Mr. Big's interference complicates Lucy and Carrie's chances at new love. This dynamic highlights the men's emotional unavailability and their desire to control the women's lives, preventing Carrie and Lucy from forming healthier relationships with others. Ultimately, Stephen and Mr. Big's actions with Carrie and Lucy keeps them stuck in a cycle of confusion and longing, hindering their ability to move forward. So, what are your thoughts? Did I miss anything between Stephen and Mr. Big? Again, I thought these were very obvious to me when I watched this. I was like, oh, this is very familiar. Stephen is definitely a different type of person. He has a crazy, interesting mind. And I don't know, I still, when they showed his background with his like mom and everything, I definitely felt a sense of feeling bad because you see where he gets it from, the narcissism and controlling people and controlling their feelings and understanding that. You see that with his mom. So it definitely makes me feel sad. You don't really see where Mr. Big comes from and why he acts like that. But Mr. Big isn't as bad as Steven, so we don't even really need to see that. We just know he's a rich man that just doesn't want his image tarnished, but still wants to have a fun, exciting, youthful woman. So it's like, I don't know. But yeah, that was my comparison. I definitely have a few more comparisons I wanted to do, and I had other shows like I love Yellow Jackets, and I want to talk about it so bad because I freaking love Yellow Jackets. So I was thinking about doing that, but please let me know if y'all liked the video. Please give this a thumbs up if you did. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.